Hello class, today we're taking a look at another method for solving equations that have fractions in them, and that is eliminating all of our fractions. To do this, we talked in class about how when we multiply every term, all the things in the equation by our common denominator of our equation, we are going to be able to eliminate those fractions. We'll be left with nice whole numbers, and those are relatively easy to go about solving. So in guide to practice question A, we've got 1/4 x plus 1/2 equals 1/3 x plus 5/6. First thing we need to think about, of course, is the common denominator for those numbers on the bottom, for the 2, the 3, and the 6. And we remember back to grade 7 and 6, and before that even, when we started looking at the idea of a common denominator. And our common denominator is going to be the lowest common multiple of our denominators. So we know our multiples of 6 are 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18. Our multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, and 16. Multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12. And of course, 2 is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Since all of those numbers can be made into 12, 12 is our lowest common denominator. It's the first one that's in common for all of those lists. So we're going to go ahead and multiply every fraction by 12, or every term in the equation by 12, I should say. You can see that I've already done that for you in this particular question here. So let's do those multiplications by 12. Now it's helpful to think about simplifying your fractions as you do this. So 12 and 4 simplify down to just a 3 on top. Obviously 12 divided by 4 would be 3. And our 3 times our 1x is just 3x. We've got our plus sign. Let's do our next multiplication. 12 divided by 2 simplifies to 6, and 6 times 1 is just 6. We've got our equal sign at the wall. Let's do our next multiplication. 12 divided by 3 simplifies to 4. 4 times 1 times x is 4x. We got our plus sign, and then our 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Our next thing to do is collect our x's. We do have x's on 2 different places in this equation. We want them in only one place. So let's cancel out the x's with the smaller coefficient. The opposite of positive 3x is minus 3x. We'll do that to both sides of our equation. 3x and minus 3x cancels out, leaving us with just our constant 6. On the other side, 4x's take away 3x's is just 1x, or just x, and we still have our constant of 10. Finally, we'll undo that addition of our 10 by subtracting 10 from both sides. And 6 take away 10 gives us our correct solution of -4. And our positive 10 take away 10 cancels out, leaving us with just x on the right side. To verify this, just like always, we're going to substitute in our solution. So we'll replace our x with the number -4, and we'll do our calculation. 1/4 times -4 would be -1, and -1 plus 1/2 is -1/2. On the other side, 1/3 times -4 plus 5/6 would be -4/3 plus our 5/6. -4/3 is -8/6 plus our 5/6 gives us -3/6, which is -1/2. So since we did get the value -1/2 on both sides of the equation, we do know our solution is accurate. In guided practice question B, I've left it up to you to determine your lowest common denominator. And if we look at our list of multiples for 6, 3, and 2, the first number that is in common there is our 6. So we're going to say that our lowest common denominator is 6. That means we need to go through and multiply each term of this equation by 6. So we'll multiply this first term by 6, our next term by 6, this term by 6, and this term by 6. So let's do those multiplications. 6 divided by 3 gives us 2. 2 times 2x is 4x. We've got our subtract sign. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. We've got our equal sign. 6 divided by 6 is 1. And 1 times x is 1x, or just x. And then our 6 times 2 is 12 at the end there. Okay, next thing to do is collect our x's. So the opposite of positive 1x is minus 1x, and we'll do that to both sides. This will give us 3x minus 3 is equal to 12. We'll go ahead and undo our subtraction by adding 3 to both sides, and this will give us 3x is equal to 15. And we'll finish up by undoing our multiplication by dividing both sides by 3, and that'll give us our correct answer of x equals 5. We substitute in that 5, we'll have our 2/3 times our 5 minus 1/2. 2/3 times 5 is 10/3 minus 1/2. Our common denominator here is 6. So we'll get 26, take away 3/6, and that'll be 17/6 as the value of the left side. Let's do the same thing on the right side, so we'll substitute in our solution of 5. 1/6 times 5 is 5/6. 2 is really 12/6, and 5/6 plus 12/6 is 17/6. Obviously, same value on both sides of the equation tells us we have our correct solution. The only thing different in question C is we do need to be careful about our brackets. We will still need to distribute in our values when we multiply into those brackets. So let's think about our common denominator first. Our multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, so on and so forth. The first one of those that's also a multiple of 2 is, of course, 10. So we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides of this equation by 10. Now, on the left side, 10 divided by 2 gives me a 5. This 5 is still being multiplied by my brackets. So I want to make sure that I'm going ahead and expanding that 5 into my brackets. And that gives me the new equation, 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times positive 1 is 5. On the other side, my 10 cancels with my 5, or simplifies with my 5, perhaps I should say, to give me 2. Again, I want to multiply that 2 into my brackets, or distribute that 2 into my brackets. So this will be 2x subtract 4, 2 times 2. Let's next collect our x's. We'll subtract 2 x's from both sides. That'll give us the new equation, 3x plus 5 is equal to negative 4. We'll undo the addition of 5 by subtracting 5 from both sides. So we'll get 3x is equal to negative 9. And we'll finish up by dividing both sides by 3. And that'll give us our solution of just x on the left and negative 3 on the right. We substitute that in to check. We'll go ahead and say that we have negative 3 plus 1 over 2. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2 over 2, and negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. On the other side, we'll have negative 3 minus 2 over 5. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5, and negative 5 divided by 5 is negative 1. Again, left side was equal to the right side, so we do know our solution is verified. So I hope this has helped you with how we go about solving an equation with fractions by eliminating the denominators.